Hi class, so our homework for the next class is going to be to take the notes, and it really does need to be done by the beginning of class, and that's a change from what was on there before, but at the beginning of class we need to have the notes done. So if you read carefully, it says each group member needs to be able to present their own handwritten copy of the information. So it cannot just be digital. You have to write it out to help you remember, to help you learn the information, and to make sure that we're both doing it, okay? We're both accountable for the information. So all the information that we need to research is right here. So it's A through H. So when you are answering this information, don't care if you copy this and you just do like A on a sheet of paper, you write the question and then you write the information to answer it, or if you want to do a Cornell style note, that's fine. But looking at all this information, and given that you are accountable for presenting this information to the class, you want to have enough detail. So this should be, at least, I would say, I'm going to say like 3 pages. So that means 1 page front and back, and then an additional half sheet of paper, just to make sure that we're covering all of our bases and we have the information that we need. So take really thorough notes. That's your goal for the next class. Then the question should be like, where do you start? So if you look, it's given a website. It gives you a website that you can begin there. So click on that and hopefully it'll open and not just open perfect. Okay, so if you look, you picked yours, but there's a lot of information about these different zones. So if yours not on here, then you can continue to look, because they have, see all projects, so you can go back and look at some of the older projects as well. But to do an example, we will choose so many cool things. Look at that. That's awesome. Sorry. Anyway, we'll just choose the Cerrado region. Okay, perfect. So if you look, okay, it gives us a map. It has some dots on there. We want to go down, and really where the good information is within this report. So there's some reports down here at the bottom. So let's see, we've got revision, 2017 revision, ecosystem profile, summary. So we have a summary and a profile, and this is going to be extremely thorough information. So if we click on it, okay, we do want to, by the way, make references of where we're getting the information as well. If we click on it, there's tons of information about who's responsible for making the report. They're thanking tons of people, etc. But then we have a table of contents. We would probably just want to start going through and seeing what would be valuable for us. So I would definitely start by looking at the introduction. So that says page 26. Just kind of scroll down. And even within the introduction, it's going to provide us with quite a bit of information that we will be looking for. So scroll, scroll, scroll. Here we go. So this is our introduction. It's telling us about where it's located. It's telling us about the land area. And then we can continue to read and gather a lot of that background information. Now, clearly this isn't going to be everything that we need, but it's a good to start. Okay, as you continue through, just tons of information. So maps with keys and, the area, it's given and laid out in different zones, so that's perfect as well. Continues at the profile, background. There's just an unbelievable amount of information within this report. So that being the case, you probably will want to take a look at it and try and figure out how you can sort through the information and just kind of pull out the information you need, or look at the table of contents. Let's go back up. Oops. All the way back up to the table of contents. And just see what's going to be relevant to you. So if you look, there's a whole section called Threats to Biodiversity. So that might be interesting for our report. So ecosystem services in the hotspot, it talks about biodiversity, so that might be something you'd want to look at as well. So this is an excellent, excellent resource. Then you can also click on just the shortened summary version, and we'll see what happens there. Okay, give it a second to load. Okay. Extended summary, all right. Introduction, Cerrado hotspot. So this is giving us similar information, but just organized a slightly different way, it looks like. So this also might be extremely helpful. But remember, one of the things we want to do is we want to be able to do a works cited, because when you do, oh, hey, look at this. Very useful. So if you are looking ahead when we do our PowerPoint, we're required to have a works cited information. So that means where we got our information. We need to indicate. So to do that, I mean, I did like an APA style works cited just for one of these sources. So this is for the Cerrado region. I did it this way. I mean, you can critique whether or not I did it the exact right way. I'm trying to follow, and I don't think there's a period there. I'm trying to follow the APA style. It actually says in the IB citation guide, which I uploaded to ManageMac, that you don't have to use any specific style. You just have to be consistent. So if you use APA, you can't switch to MLA and then switch to Chicago and then switch back. You just have to pick one and be consistent. So I try to do that here. There's a heck of a lot of people listed as being responsible for this, so I'm kind of assuming they're the people who wrote it, and I'm writing their names down as the authors. There are more than 7, so technically you're allowed to skip a few of the names. So hopefully that's fine. The year, so it says revised 2017. The title, I'm guessing, was Ecosystem Profile, Cerrado, Biodiversity Hotspot. And then I used this as kind of like the article or the journal name, because that's what it was called. So Critical Ecosystem Partnership Fund, and then retrieved from, and the website. So you can follow this format exactly and just change your title, and your authors will be different, obviously. Just so you know, the different zones are always available in English, but they might be available in another language, depending on what languages are spoken, or languages are spoken in that region. So, excellent citation resources. I'm not sure if I have any open right now, but I love it's called the Purdue Owl. Okay. The Purdue Owl is just an amazing website for any type of citation or just writing information. If you haven't used this website, this is, to me, critical if you ever are making decisions about citations or references, works cited, any of that. And you can change from different styles too. So now we're kind of in the APA style region, but we could switch to something else. And there are resources like, let's see, the citation machine, which is supposed to help you to build citations if you're using a website. So you probably will be using other sources as well. And you can choose whatever, APA, MLA, Chicago, whatever you want. And you can even go to website and you copy and paste the website into here. For this, we wouldn't want just the website. We would want to do the actual report, which makes it a little bit more challenging because it can't access that PDF file to pull the information. But just as an example, you paste the website. Okay, search websites. Okay, you agree if that's what you're looking for. And it tries its best to build, but the only issue is a lot of the information will be missing. So you have to try and go through and see if you can find any of that missing information. Fill it in if you can, and then you can click Create Citation. And then what you get should be fine. So this is what it's giving you. Okay. So if you agree with it, I mean, some of it you might need to double check again and just see if you really think that's the most accurate information on the website. But that's one resource that you have, at least, to help you with the works cited. And if you haven't used it before, it is just a good resource to know. Okay, so you should know it. Other than that, remember, you need to have your own handwritten copy of your notes based on your biodiversity hotspot, and It's okay if it's exactly the same as the person who's in your group, that's fine, but you just have to have it all handwritten. I'm making edits already, but for some of them there should be quite a bit of information. So description of the hotspot, that should not just be a couple bullet points, it should be pretty lengthy. So make sure you take good notes now so that you have the information later, and make sure that you're keeping track of your sources. So whether you're copying and pasting a list of websites or wherever you've looked, you need to keep track of your sources, because if you don't do that on the IA, you will be in big trouble. So you need to just make sure you do it now, just as good practice. And then later we'll talk about the other steps. Okay? So make sure you take excellent notes and you get that done for the next class. All right, perfect.